Hi, this is Rachelle with Journal Life's Journey, and I'm going to be working on a Halloween journal using these digital papers. And I'll link to the shop in the description box below. I printed this on this Epson paper. It's a matte photo paper that I ordered a while ago. It was on sale, so I ordered several, and I really like the quality of the print of this. So I'm just showing here the different papers that come with this collection. I believe it was 10 pages, and I printed them front and back borderless. And like I said, the quality on that Epson paper is awesome. The only thing with this kit is that it is vertical, so folding it in half to get a half letter is not really an option. All of my pages would be turned to the side. So I will be folding them in half vertically. That will give me somewhat of a standard size traveler's notebook type page. I haven't decided if I'm going to actually stitch the signatures in or use those on an elastic, but I'm preparing the papers here. I'm trimming down, and I really didn't want to cut any of the designs off, but I need to trim down the paper to the right size. So as I'm trimming, I'm deciding what parts front and back that I can actually take off and be somewhat okay with losing, and then the offcuts I can use for tags and journaling cards and other embellishments throughout the journal. And I just wanted to say this is just part one of several parts of me putting this journal together. This was actually a live stream offered to patrons only, and I'm just kind of time lapsing and editing it down for the channel. But if you're interested in seeing other live streams and things that I'm working on, check us out over at patreon.com. And this is the Patreon for ScrapCraftastic. So it's patreon.com/ScrapCraftastic. So this one, I just cut some off the top and the bottom because I didn't want to lose completely the floral at the top. So again, I'm flipping back and forth, front and back, to make sure I don't cut off anything that I need. And I am trimming these down to 8 1/4. So they're ending up being 8 1/2 wide by 8 1/4 in height. So the finished size, once it's folded, is 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. And I'm kind of putting them together, checking to see how much page creep I'm going to have. Page creep is the way that the pages somewhat stick out once you start putting them together. The thickness of the page causes the next page to stick out a little bit further, so I usually trim that off. So here I'm thinking I'm going to have to use this page as the center of the signature because I did not want half of his beak to be on a different page. So I'm just making sure that I have one of each page. And now I'm going to start pulling some papers to add to this. These are some of my tea and coffee stained papers and other treatments. I've had some that are sprayed or dyed. So I'm just going through and pulling out what I think will look good and work in between the digital pages. So now I'm going to start trimming down the coffee stained or tea stained papers to fit in the journal. I'm actually just going to cut the height. I will cut the width once I put the books together. So I'm actually just cutting off the height. I will cut off or trim down the width once I put the signature together. So now that the papers are trimmed in height, I'm going to go ahead and start folding them in half. And I'm using my bone folder to get a good crease. So here I'm adding some other paper types. I have some alphabet, I don't know, school paper, and I have some black 24-pound paper. And here I'm just going to go ahead and trim down the black paper. And I'm not sure about this school paper or alphabet practicing paper. It's very thin, so I'm not sure that I'm going to actually use that. But here I'm just going through with the papers that I've pulled and folded and trimmed and prepared and adding them to the digital papers. So I'm flipping through here to check the order of the pages to see if the placement is good and deciding where to add the additional pages. So we have all the pages in this signature, and I'm flipping through one more time to make sure that I like the way the pages flow. This is something that I do constantly as I'm working on a journal. And the signatures, I just kind of want to make sure that the pages flow well, and I probably overthink it. Yeah, here I'm taking that school paper out. It's just too thin. So thus far, I am happy with the page order, but that doesn't mean that later on I won't change things around. So here I'm going through my Halloween paper stash and seeing what paper or cardstock papers, scrapbook papers I would like to add to this signature. Just flipping through some of the paper pads and pulling out a few of the papers that I think will work. So I've pulled out two sheets and just flipping through a few more of the paper pads to make sure I'm not missing anything that would work. So here I'm going to go ahead and score this piece of cardstock or decorative cardstock scrapbook paper, and I'm going to be using it as a folder, a pocket folder in the journal. So I'm making the pocket, and then I'm going to fold this in half. So I'm going to score it at 6 inches to be able to fold it easily in half. This is very good quality paper. So when I folded it, after only scoring on one side, I did get some cracking at the bottom of the folder. So I'm trimming down another piece. This one is going to have little pockets on the side. So I'm trimming down the height to 8 1/4. Then I am going to score in the center. And then I'm going to flip it over and score on the other side. Doing this, scoring on both sides, will help with the paper cracking since this is such a good quality paper. Then I'm counting over 4 inches from the center and I'm scoring. So this will give me a pocket, a flap that I can fold to make a pocket, and I am doing the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to flip that paper over and score it again. And again, this will keep the paper from cracking or eliminate some of the cracking. It also makes it fold much nicer. So I'm deciding which way I want it to fold. And then these will be pockets where I can tuck tags, journaling cards, ephemera. So here I'm deciding where in the signature these two pieces should be placed. So here we go again with another quick flip to make sure everything is where it should be and that everything flows in the signature. Okay, so everything looks good in the signature. That is going to be it for this part of creating this Halloween journal. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that little gray bell so that you'll receive notification whenever I upload a new video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.